In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting. Hosted by Nayim Edwards.
Welcome to The Dark Side of Songwriting. My name is Nayim Edwards. I am your host, and today we got a lot to unpack with this EST interview with Bootleg Kev where he walked out. If you don't know what happened or you didn't see the clip that Kev put up, Kev was trying to obviously keep the fucking interview going because these niggas have the personalities of wet carrots and the communication skills of dry rocks. And Kev was trying to save the fucking interview and do a deep dive because there are people that like ESTG's music, and you remember a time where artists did interviews because that was your chance to get a, glimpse into their personal life, glimpse into their mind and their interests, find out things you didn't know. But we're in an industry where niggas are not as good as they think they are, cheating their way with these fake ass numbers, and they have prima donna attitudes that they did not earn and they should not have with people, whether you feel like they're righteous or you feel like they don't deserve to be there or they may not, or whatever your opinions are. Your label is making you go to these markets and do these interviews, especially on such fucking short notice of getting a mixtape on Friday, because in your contract it's not counting as no motherfucking album. You're not even smart in that regard, and you out here walking out on people who trying to introduce people to you so you can actually get your fucking sales up so you don't have to be a fucking CMG slave. To put it in the nicest terms I can, of course. You decide to disrespect somebody else's platform that's trying to introduce you to people who may not know who you are. See, a lot of these people, we know them because they in our circles. We know them because they're on our level, or we are the first people to know them. But there's vast markets out here that don't know shit about you niggas. Nothing. Not one fucking thing. And when you go and you disrespect somebody on their platform when they're trying to save you because they don't need you, because you suck and you're boring as a bitch. And we're not talking about the music because the music slide. I listen to the music every day. But these niggas with these terrible fucking personalities feeling like they can say or do or whatever, and you try to come back and spin around after you get up after niggas trying to save face because we don't want to hear you. You shouldn't be opening your fucking mouth unless it's to rap. You want to go on Instagram, so you supposed to be gangster, you supposed to be tough, you supposed to be, oh, I'm a street nigga, I hate rappers, I'm the new Jeezy, all this other shit. Niggas so tough, they wait till they get on their cell phone to say something to you fucking internet niggas, dog. Like, you wait till you leave the vicinity of the person you had an issue with to say, you asking me about football, you asking me about aliens and Netflix and all of this stuff. Y'all like to play, I'm a real street nigga, blah, blah, blah. I play crazy. Bro, where was that fucking energy in front of this man? You do realize you're boring as shit, right? You do realize there's nothing polarizing about you that would make a nigga want to just sit and listen to you talk. You niggas talk like you should have been held back a few more years. Like No Child Left Behind didn't fucking ever exist. We gotta get George Bush for that shit, because a lot of you niggas should have been left in the dust. Like, if we really being motherfucking real. The only thing niggas is good at is rapping. Because there's no more media training. There's no more fucking training, artist development training. There's no more of these things that make people want to be intrigued. I'm sorry, G, but being a good rapper in today is not enough. Nobody give a fuck about no good rapping ass niggas. That's not enough. People want to know who you is. People want to know what you like to watch. People want to know that shit, especially if you're trying to get people to just look at you. Yeah, you might, I got this, I got that. But the problem is the people that you make music that represent, they're not buying music. They're going to listen to it maybe here and there, but they're not going to be constantly on it. They're not going to jump on top of it. They don't relate to what you're saying. You can't go to people's fucking platforms and disrespect them. Give a fuck what they look like. Give a fuck where they from. Give a fuck about none of that. You go to somebody's platform and you show that fucking platform some fucking respect. Or you build your own. But now that I got that off my chest, but to give you the Cliff Notes version of why a person might think he might be offended by any of those football questions or whatever, the first question you would ask is what the fuck happened to him playing football and why didn't it fall through? It didn't fall through because he had a full ride to school, went to school, met people who got him caught up in the drug trade. He jumps into that. He gets caught. He goes to fucking jail. He loses his fucking scholarship. That is how it always happens. You go to college, you get introduced to all these new things. If you're from an area, you might be privy to stuff, but you might not have your own situation going. You go to college, especially if you go away to college, and away would be like out of state or far enough away where can't nobody get to you. You're going to meet a whole lot of people. I remember my freshman year. Was it freshman year? I think it was sophomore year. The first week, there was a fucking drug raid, and they found a brick in somebody's fucking dorm room. Like, there's all type of shit that go on in college, and people will be like, oh, you should have just played football, or you could have, whatever, you was the best football player, why would anybody be mad at that? Bro, you don't know about the traumas that come associated with not having your situations fall through. I remember him saying that he always knew he was going to be doing something. He didn't know what it was going to be, but he just knew that he was going to be the best at whatever he was doing. Football just happened to be that thing because he was one of the best linebackers in the state of Kentucky. He went to like Catholic high school or whatever. And to go ahead and extinguish the fire on people talking about, oh, a person went to a Catholic high school. First, every school district is not the same. There are people, and I know I got athletes over on the channel. Shout out to Xavier Landon. But with athletes, their high school careers don't be the same as regular people's high school. If you just going to go to school, or you going to school for robotics or some shit like that. Like, a motherfucker will really be able to go to the best of the best school because they have a chance at actually making it to being an athlete. They bypass all the bullshit you got to go through at a regular school. A nigga will get a scholarship to go to a private school just to play on the team. That's in high school. So we can go ahead and eliminate the bullshit about, oh, a motherfucker grew up privileged with all of this. It's like, no, athletes have a whole different life that they live over on the other side of the track. And if they said he was literally you can look his stats up. He's like the number one or whatever the fuck, top 3 in the state. That motherfucker's not going to no regular ass school, bro. Anybody gonna snatch him up to represent their school and shit. And that's how he got the fucking ride. It's just a different life for an athlete. But to finish what I'm saying about the college shit, it's like, it's easy to get caught up in some shit in college because you young, you think you can get away with it. The allure is there. You know, we find ourselves in these situations all the time. Especially if you're under the age of 22. Who wouldn't? And drug trafficking could really be anything. They said he had 10 pounds of weed or something on him, and then the fentanyl shit came later. But who wouldn't put 10 pounds of drugs in the baseboard of their car and drive to another state if they feel like they can get some money and come back? It's just a matter of when you're gonna get caught, not if, when you're gonna get caught. And if you're a first time offender, usually. So this is the part I wanted to say, just to encompass that, because this was really, I said everything I had to say already, but just giving you a little Easter egg about college felonies and all of that shit. If you're a first time offender in college, this was me. If you were a first time offender in college, being in college, a judge might actually have some mercy on you, especially if you got people that'll come out and be like, you know, this person's in college, they cooperated, whatever the fucking cooperation in the sense of being a college student is, you didn't evade the police, you didn't run, you didn't give a nigga a hard time, you just went in there and said you was going to take your charge or whatever. ESTG said he had money to pay a lawyer, and if you got a first time offense and you're an athlete and people know you and the culture probably, people will come out, you might not be able to reap the rewards of the system you came from, but all those things look good where a judge could have mercy on you. In Kentucky, just some nerd shit, right? Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, and a little part of Tennessee, they used to all be Virginia. Like when the colonies first formed, Kentucky was the last piece of Virginia to break off. And Kentucky is a commonwealth. There's only 4 commonwealths in the United States: Virginia, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Kentucky. And Kentucky being a commonwealth, what people don't know that in commonwealths we have our own set of jurisdictions and rules that might not apply to whatever the fuck is going on in another state. The penalties are usually harsher because we pay more in taxes. People are more involved in the lawmaking decisions. Like every election, there'll be something on the board or something like that. So having some good shit going for you, a judge will have some leniency towards your situation in a commonwealth, depending on what it is. And if it's a first time offense or whatever, he probably got in there and just confessed to saying, yeah, I did it. Didn't have to say nobody else's. And that's another thing. In a commonwealth, if you get caught doing something, it's the commonwealth versus you. They're not going to be, most of the time, they're not going to be trying to bring other people in unless it's like a RICO type of situation in the war. I'm just saying RICO to encompass anything that's got to do with a group. But he was wrong as fuck for walking out that interview like that. He could have gave them a list, and it's just like, let this just be a lesson learned to anybody out there that plans on interviewing people. I don't plan on doing that. I like to have conversations. If I do, I haven't done that yet. I'm thinking about it. But look at who you're talking to and read the floor. Read the motherfucking floor and read the room. Like, this is not no nigga you want to talk to. He's boring as fuck. Nobody want to hear what the fuck he got to say. But this is the dark side of songwriting. My name is Nayim.